Good afternoon. Welcome on board. Thank you so much for your company, choosing UBC, Inspiring Uganda. Coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. My name is Sandra Kahunde. Welcome to our weekly news roundup. Now, starting off, President Yoweri Museveni this week urged people of Omoro district to embrace government programs aimed at eradicating poverty and increasing household incomes. President Museveni was campaigning for the NRM flag bearer in the Omoro County parliamentary by-elections, Andrew Ojok Olanya.
There was excitement among NRM supporters in Omoro district as President Museveni joined them to drum up support for the Omoro County by-election NRM flag bearer Andrew Ojok. Actually, cultural dances took the day. The NRM National Chairman, President Museveni, addressed two separate campaign meetings, one at Odek Sub-County and the other at Opit Senior Secondary School in Opit Town Council. He urged the people of Omoro to focus on commercial of agriculture to increase household incomes.
First and most important point which all of you should know, the leaders, is the issue of homestead incomes. To make sure that you know the land holding of each home in Omoro, in Acholi, and then you listen to our advice how to plan for the wealth of that home.
Museveni also pledged to construct a technical school, improve road networks in the district, and contribute funds to some of the projects uncompleted by the late Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya.
If NRM has done Gulu, Atanga, Achoriburu Road, all the way to Sudan border, has done Oruyo, Kochigoma to Gulu, has done Gulu to Nimule, has done Karuma to Pakwachi. Why would they not do Gulu, Awere, Puranga, and all the way to Moroto? Why not?
Museveni later handed over the flag of the NRM party to Andrew Ojok, urging the people of Omoro to vote him in the Thursday's by-election. The candidate Ojok commended President Museveni and the NRM party for the support throughout the time he lost his father and during the campaigns.
It's also 2 months and 4 days since he passed on. But this is a lesson for me that a lot can change in the span of 2 months, in a short time. And you've been with us along the way. You have supported us from the time when he was sick, even before he fell sick, through his whole journey of politics. You've been at his side. I want to thank you very much. You and the party have been instrumental.
Present was also Prime Minister Robert Nabanja, Minister for ICT Dr. Chris Baryomusi, Minister for Northern Uganda Grace Kuchwinyi, and top NRM party officials. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Omoro.
Now, in more news, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation this week held a blood donation drive at its premises in Kampala. The Managing Director, Winston Agaba, board members, staff and members of the public witnessed the event during several pints of blood was collected.
Every day, hundreds of patients undergoing different treatment procedures require blood for survival. It is against this background that Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC urged her listeners to participate in the blood donation drive to save lives. Indeed, many people responded to the call as many thronged UBC to donate blood. UBC Managing Director Winston Agaba and some members of the Board of Directors graced the event and commended those who took the call positively.
Nga bwe tutaasa obulamu bw'abamaama baffe, bannyinaffe, abakyala abazaala beetaaga omusaayi. Akalango ke mwalabye ku TV nga balaga emmotoka efunye accident fenna tuli wano ani amanyi nga bw'ova wano ojja kwetaaga omusaayi. So njagala okubeebaza nnyo okulaba nti muzze fenna katugabe omusaayi, fenna katukuume obutonde nga bwe tuliza Star TV, Star FM ne radio zaffe zonna eza UBC.
MD and the board members, we are so grateful. This is a great initiative that you've started. I was telling Molongo Babiria that you are the first media personality that has come up with this kind of initiative because we've not done it elsewhere. Blood is precious. Blood keeps our hearts beating. If there is no blood, there is no another alternative. If you fail to get it on time, you may never need it again.
UBC's presenter, Mulongo Babire Sarah, played a pivotal role in mobilizing the blood donors through her popular program, Kotiamaka, that runs on Star TV and radio.
People die, mothers die when giving birth. And my Kotiamaka program is majorly with the women. So, and I know there is no factory that makes blood. No shop sells blood. It's us to donate blood.
I'm very happy that our staff can mobilize so many people in so short a time for so great a cause. Thank you all very, very, very much.
Uganda requires 450,000 units of blood annually, and out of this, Nakasero Blood Bank only realizes about 80%. The reason more Ugandans are being urged to embrace blood donation. Adiana Kote, UBC.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Managing Director Winston Agaba this week received a set of digitalized content from about 30 reels of past video recordings by the then Uganda Television. With funds from Michigan University, UBC intends to digitalize all the archive content fetched from as far as 1960.
This is the climax of a journey that aims at digitalizing UBC's content that started close to 4 years ago. In 2019, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation entered into a partnership with Michigan University to facilitate efforts of digitalizing UBC's archive that dates back as far as 1962. The ultimate goal is to ensure safe and up-to-date storage of valuable content that tells a lot about Uganda's history.
You can imagine this is sound. Can you imagine that is radio? Yeah. 1969.
From the University of Michigan, Professor Derek Peterson continues to lead a team of experts nurturing these efforts.
That over the course of the past 5 or 6 years, the UBC, the University of Michigan, and the University of Western Australia have been able to digitize about 50,000 still photographic negatives dating from the late 1950s all the way forward to the early 1990s. These still photographic negatives have been saved and preserved by curators here at the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation.
Also in the package is a book with photographic compilations highlighting Idi Amin's times.
I think that does it.
With this development, UBC's Managing Director, Winston Agaba, says the onus is on the national broadcaster to showcase this content to Ugandans.
We need to see it. And I know, as a man of the Kabaka, you'll be interested to know that there is a reel that shows when the Kabaka was made president. Was sworn in as president. There is also a reel when the Kabaka was buried in London.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
In more of our weekly news roundup, due to the high demand for palliative care services in the country, health experts are advocating for more training and recognition of palliative care providers in the country. This was revealed during the Palliative Care Association Uganda's annual general meeting held this week, where Uganda Broadcasting Corporation was awarded for its support for serving humanity services. Palliative care is the approach that improves the quality of life of patients and their families facing problems associated with life-threatening illnesses. While palliative care is in the medical and clinical officers' curriculum, some of the training institutions don't have it.
That we are 41 million, get the 1%. We are talking about 400,000 something people who should benefit from the palliative care services. The Ministry of Health has come out clear to say that only 11% of those people who are in need are receiving this service. Why? Because the service points are still few. We still have the hospices which are supposed to support the country, only 13 for the whole country. They can't support the entire country. They are in different regions, and some regions we don't have. We still have hospitals where health workers are not fully oriented about the need for palliative care.
Health experts offering the palliative care services urge for more government support to ease their movements since they were hard hit during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Much more now is that we want to see palliative care taken from the facility to the community. COVID-19 taught us that we need to do two things. We need to enhance technology to make sure that we can offer services remotely, even medical services and care to the patients who are ill, but we also need to embrace the public health approach for health services.
The aspect of the national palliative care policy, this we work together, we finalize the regulatory impact assessment with the policy analyst. I think we've done costing because that's the requirement for the certificate of financial implications, and then to be submitted to cabinet for them to, before it's taken to parliament. So this is what we are working on. So it's work in progress. We hope that we should be able to make it faster.
Palliative Care Association Uganda commends partners who have supported their cause, like the Uganda Cancer Institute and Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, among others, who were awarded at the annual general meeting.
We shall inform, educate and guide, and we want to thank the government and through the Ministry of Health, because for the first time in so many years, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation was not being funded by government. It might come as a surprise to many of you. We struggle to raise funds to run the corporation. But government has committed, at least in the past 2 years, giving us money. And those are the improvements you see. So we thank you as government, we thank you as shareholders, and your feedback as shareholders is always very important. Thank you, and let's do what humanity can do best, giving palliative care. Thank you.
The meeting was attended by different stakeholders in the education sector, Ministry of Public Service and other employment organizations of government. Sandra Kahunde, UBC News. The government of Belgium, through Belgian Development Agency in partnership with the Enable ICT project, has donated modern digital training equipment to the Uganda Institute of Communication and Information Technology, Nakawa. The equipment included laptops, modern internet servers, wireless access points, and color printers, and so much more.
Of modern and adequate ICT training equipment has for some time been one of the challenges of the Uganda Institute of Communication and Technology Institute, Nakawa. In order to bridge this gap, the Belgian government, through its Belgian Development Agency, in partnership with the Enable ICT program, has donated an assortment of modern ICT online training equipment worth over 100 million shillings to the institute. A team of the Institute officials, led by the Institute Secretary Ambrose Bakwasibwe, received the donation, which included modern servers, wireless access points, laptops, internet equipment from the Enable digitalization expert Bart Colonel at the Institute campus.
So I'm very sure that its coming is timely and will help us to boost the performance and transfer of knowledge and skills to our students, and more importantly, to impact the entire country as far as digital transformation is concerned.
On behalf of the Enable program, Colonel Bart pledged more support to the ICT training sector in Uganda.
Digitalization is a transversal theme because we really believe as Enable that digital tools, digital services can leverage development.
Francis Bwire, the coordinator of the Institute's Business Development Center, said that the donation will go a long way in meeting the service delivery needs of the Institute.
So with this equipment, we know we are going to increase the number of trainings, also be able to provide our staff with enough tools to enable them to carry out the training.
Uganda is among the 5 countries in Africa with ICT digital transformation centers under the International Telecommunications Union, with the rest being Ethiopia, Ghana, Morocco and Zambia. Edward Colin Juko, Nakawa, Kampala.
Glad to know you're still watching. In more of our weekly news roundup, we're seeing Prime Minister Robin Nabanja this week warning nurses and midwives against industrial action or else risk being replaced by volunteers. Nabanja made the remarks while speaking as a chief guest during the celebrations of St. Andrea Kahwa Day, one of the martyrs of Uganda, at a Kochi shrine in Kakumiro district.
Nabanja says that the government is tired of blackmail and endless strikes, yet it has done enough to enhance the emoluments of the health workers. This follows reports of a planned strike by nurses over pay.
And of course, because of lack of salaries, we thought we would lay them out. Laying them off when they are these ones who are struggling, let them go and do other things. We shall fill their vacancies.
Nabanja has instructed the Public Service Commission, resident city and district commissioners to immediately supervise government facilities to ascertain those on duty, and whoever is absent shall have been deemed to have absconded.
It's not a wise decision for you to go on strike, because this time round, government is not ready. I repeat, we are not ready to entertain this blackmail. We have enhanced your salaries, and we have done all that it takes amidst a lot of challenges. And I want to direct the RDCs, Minister of Public Service, the district service commissions and the district leaders. If these ones want to go on strike, let them go. But we shall fill those vacancies as soon as possible.
The Holy Mass was celebrated by the Bishop of Hoima Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Vincent Cherabo, who asked Christians to renew their faith as they remember St. Andrea Kahwa.
Imbatabaruke kwika hakiro kinu ekyo mutonganirizi wanyu kandi kyo kurorawo cyereze eklezia Andrea Kahwa ali kyo kurorawo cyane.
Emmanuel Aliba, the National Executive Secretary of the Justice and Peace Commission in Uganda, says that the day is very instrumental because of the contribution of St. Andrea Kahwa in the faith.
Ekindese n'okulamaganze kunoonya ku ssente era mbalamazi bano nfunamu nnyo ssente nnungi. Abaami okufa ku bakazi baabwe, abakyala abasinga mbu tukozesa eddogo ne tuloga abasajja naye yakituganya okukikozesa n'ekyebaza olw'ekyo.
St. Andrea Kahwa was born in 1856, May 26th, a Ugandan Catholic martyr killed for his faith. He was born in Kochi, Haibale, in the current Kakumiro district. He was one of the many Christians put to death by King Mwanga II between 1885 and 1887. He was the King Mwanga's badmaster General the Mugowa. Thousands of pilgrims thronged the shrine in Kochi to celebrate his life and also pray to him for God's mercy. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Chigezi Diocese is this Sunday getting a new bishop, Canon Gadia Kanjuna. The Archbishop of Uganda, with support of bishops from the province of Uganda, are carrying out the installation of the 6th Bishop of Chigezi, Reverend Canon Gadia Kanjuna, at Rugarama Hill, Kabale Municipality. The State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, David Bahati, who has been the chairperson organizing committee, says close to 3,000 dignitaries are expected to attend the ceremony.
It is 6 p.m. here in Kabale district, and as you can see, we are at Chigezi High School Primary School playground, where the ceremonies for the consecration of the 6th Bishop of the Chigezi Diocese will be happening tomorrow, Sunday.
We are very now prepared, ready to do the function tomorrow, and we are very grateful to God for the far that He has brought us We continue to thank the outgoing Bishop George Bagamuhunda, for the contribution he has made to the diocese.
We have been told by the Minister for State of Trade and Industry, David Bahati, who happens to be one of the local leaders overseeing the preparations, that all is set for the tomorrow's event.
We will be having a very organized function. We have a number of access points, and they will be manned by the traffic officers. We have security points to be sure that everything is okay. And this venue is very, very good for this function, because we could not do it at the cathedral.
According to Minister Bahati, the event will be attracting over 3,000 guests, where they expect His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni or the delegation from his office to be attending as the chief guest.
Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Kazimba, will be here. We are expecting a number of dignitaries. The guests of honor, His Excellency the President, was invited. So him or his representative will be here. Ministers, members of parliament, but most importantly, the Christians of Kigezi Diocese and the friends.
For the general public, whoever will be attending this function, they have been reminded that COVID-19 is still around.
We have not been cleared by the World Health Organization, and we continue to observe the SOPs as much as we can, but also we recognize that God has done well to bring this COVID incidences down.
Generally, Kigezi and Kabale district at large is peaceful, as the D-Day for the consecration is just at the door. Earlier on, the bishop-elect was welcomed by residents or believers in this district amidst cheers and chants.
And we're expecting new things, good things from this area. And today has really reflected that tomorrow will be colorful.
Equally, believers are also very happy and thankful to the outgoing bishop, with many hopeful that the new bishop will also steer development.
We're going to miss the hard work, but we thank God for He has played His part and He's done. And the new one who is coming in is also hardworking, so we believe that the diocese shall continue to work.
Bishop Bagamuhunda has been very developmental, like others that came before. But he really focused on water projects. He focused on having a radio, which helped a lot during the COVID-19. When we didn't have to attend churches physically, the radio helped us. We have also seen him start a project of Irish potatoes, where he is working with Katweka Research Institute to multiply high-yielding seedlings and distribute them to the communities, especially women. And therefore, we really think, and he has put up a hostel for the nurses to help, and also supported the hospital for Garama, and built a strong relationship with the Bishop Calist of the Roman Catholic.
I'm Robert Onyango, here in Kabale district.
Congratulations to Kigezi Diocese upon that particular achievement. Makerere University this week held a 5-day graduation ceremony in which thousands were awarded various degrees and PhDs. Makerere University's 72nd graduation ceremony was officiated by the Chancellor, Professor Ezra Suruma.
As pomp and excitement birthed by the congregation of graduates hit the last day,
Makerere University administration has expressed deep appreciation to graduates for their endurance and urges them to use their voices and knowledge to change the narrative that puts modern education in bad light.
We must strive to develop that trust. We must work hard as media and get our facts right, so that in case there is misinformation and disinformation through the other media platforms, the traditional media should be able to stand up and say this is not factual, but also to provide credible reports that provide factual information and that supports the development of our country.
With a statistical stand of 52% female and 48% male, the dream of quality education for a girl child is becoming a reality.
Young ladies out there, what I can tell you is you need to have a goal in life, you need to have a vision, because once you have a goal that is set and a vision, something that you look up to, maybe you want to achieve a certain dream, then nothing can divert you along the road. There are many challenges at the places of work, especially for a woman, but once you're determined, I can say determination and having a goal in life, then you can keep pushing on.
Having graduated from Makerere University, I do not only have the paper or the degree per se, but I also have the hands-on skills. For example, writing, reporting, all that. And I'm pretty sure all those skills are going to help me out there in the field.
According to journalism and mass communication graduates, the profession embraces those who are passionate about serving and ready to face tribulations and hardships to find solutions to the already devastating problems in the journalism industry.
Become a journalist, you are here to serve. But one thing you can benefit at the connection, the networking, because it's not all about the money you are earning. It's about the network you have, that if you are into something negative, those people can reach you always. So the first and the core principles of a journalist, one is to know that you are coming to serve for the nation, to fight for the common man, and check the government and promote anything for the good of the public. Otherwise, if you think that you are just going to earn, then you are in the wrong profession.
Government is thinking about policies, as talking about minimum wage. All these considerations are being brought at different levels. The journalism or the journalist's wage should also be looked at and strongly, and say that a journalist who is very instrumental in society, without compromising the work he does, let us give him the best of payment, that in society he remain objective, remain independent, and he'll give you untampered with information and news that will help government in decision making.
As we wrap up the 72nd graduation ceremony of Makerere University, the future of 12,474 graduates lies not in the conferment of their degrees and diplomas, but in the knowledge and skills attained from this great institution. Joshua Kagoro for UBC News at Makerere University in Kampala.
A warm welcome to all the graduates for joining this particular field of journalism as we strive to be the eyes and the ears of the people. Now moving on, over 450 pilgrims from Lira and Gulu are trekking to Namugongo for Mother's Day celebration. The pilgrims were sighted on the road to Kampala as they sang songs of worship.
As it has always been a norm for Christians to make it to Namugongo every 3rd June, many from different locations started walking to the shrines, commemorate the martyrdom of Ugandan souls that died for their faith. Among these are masses who have so far walked over 200 kilometers from Gulu and Lira in prayer, meditation, and humming hymns of worship and praise on their way to Namugongo. The two groups from Lira and Gulu we met at Katugo Catholic Church in Luwero, comprised of over 450 pilgrims. The pilgrims believe that the tedious long journeys they have endured won't be in vain.
Na haikodisaz wani eto woti uberu wotorame buboretie amekaro kene jo haikodisaz nani luor balige kare metich nyo biashara ge unyo tich me porro eto pikome ye nirwano jal jamini dush
pe ha me beno kemo tumalo me Uganda chan mateka leta me dana tikanena me mon kere cho ginatima bene pehe me ario awar pe ha mo kema ma beno kemo kwana.
The visibly worn down but excited pilgrims believe the journey was worth the pain.
We have Uganda Matters also there. That is Daudu Kelu and Gilde Rua.
That is, they were always with us. Northern region has faced a lot challenges like war, but perhaps they were in position to
Uganda wa ala betie Uganda wa kilo tena wa makumberi chani gudaga go ameta ola la bo betie wa antika wa.
Eria Francis Beatrice and Ursula Wile Aguma, who have attended the Matters celebrations in the last decade, attribute their commitment to the strong faith.
11 times, 11 years. I've been moving as a traffic officer, but I was elected in 2019. We used to stay with the brothers, but we used not to talk. But due to that prayers, things normalized.
Not in the Holy Communion, you know, we Catholics. Then when in 2017, I really prayed and wept on the way. When I went back, my husband just took me to the church. So now I'm a wedded person, but yeah.
Sister Mary Colomba Adokoba Enani at the Institute of the Missionary Sisters of Mary Mother Church in Lira recalls the COVID-19 pandemic that hit the world and blocked prayers. A reason she says she should be thankful to God.
Many things have happened during the lockdown of coronavirus, but because of His love and mercy, He has kept us up to now as a religious sister to join the pilgrimage going to Namugongo. First of all, to give glory to God because of what He has done.
Matters Day celebrations are held every 3rd June to commemorate the martyrdom of Anglican and Catholic martyrs who were brutally killed on orders of Sekabaka Mwanga over failure to denounce their faith in God. Ivan Juko, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Now, relatedly on the same conversation, every year millions of pilgrims converge at Namugongo Martyrs Shrine in memory of 22 Catholic saints and the 23 Anglican martyrs who lost their lives because of their faith between 1885 and 1887. Now, this has for years attracted hundreds of believers who foot several kilometers to take their intentions for the saints' intervention. Now, for some, the journey takes weeks, but what happens when darkness falls? Our reporter caught up with over 600 pilgrims at St. Anthony Catholic Church, Mijera, where they spent a night, and now brings us the report.
6 days ago, took a district woman member of parliament, Abeja Susan Okello, led a group of 5 pilgrims from her constituency and district to Namugongo Martyrs Shrine ahead of this year's Martyrs Day celebrations.
We thought it wise to begin right away from Otuke, and this was a journey which has never been done before, because the team which is behind us, usually they move in 2 weeks. But this one was specifically meant for 1 week. We wanted to make a journey for 1 week. So we started the journey from Otuke on Saturday. Today is Saturday. Started on 14th. But challenges on the road, we couldn't make it within 6 days.
Although the number may look small, this is a representation of the commitment made some years back.
Personally, it is a commitment. In 2019, I walked myself up to Namugongo before I became a member of parliament. And I made a commitment to God that if I make it to parliament, even if I'm a member of parliament, I will still walk back to Namugongo to give my appreciation to God.
By last Saturday, they were heading to Matuga in Wakiso district as they hoped to make it this Sunday evening to Namugongo.
During this season, there is a lot of activities. So we tried talking to our people, like they have activities in the garden. So we wanted to do some demonstration, so that next time, those ones who are willing to come, we can bring them in within 1 week. So that the other 1 week, they can first do something as they believing to come to Namugongo.
However, along the journey, there have been some challenges, but this has not in any way stopped the procession.
The only major challenge is Ugandan road is narrow. So my prayer to the road designers, since this pilgrim walk is going to be a continuous process, it's not going to end today, if they could create for us pavers for pedestrians,
because the road we have in Uganda is only for the drive, for the trucks and for the riders.
The team is heading to Namugongo to pray against corruption and for improved service delivery in Otuke district.
She's praying for wisdom for the pupils or the students who are studying in the entire Otuke district. The first day, all our children were calling, "Mommy, where are you going? Will you reach?" She had developed that faith that she will reach in Jesus' name, and she's reaching. Has come to confirm what happened to the believers in Namugongo. We're praying that if God could help us and the issue of corruption comes down. Otherwise, our country is at a mess. So he has come to Namugongo to speak to his God, even if he's not seeing his God, but he has that faith and belief that his God is going to listen to him.
The pilgrims walk for an average of 60 to 70 kilometers daily.
And conclude this without appreciating our President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. We've been moving throughout the night, but Uganda is a peaceful country. Otherwise, if there was no peace in Uganda, could be they would even abduct us on the way.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Such a great faith. Now, in other news, the former president for Forum for Democratic Change, Lieutenant Dr. Kizza Besigye, this week filed a suit in High Court Criminal Division challenging the bail terms ordered against him by Magistrate Cian Owomjisha. Dr. Kizza Besigye was recently charged with one count of inciting violence. However, court granted him a cash bail of 30 million Uganda shillings and his sureties are 70 million Uganda shillings non-cash. Through his lawyer, Arias Lukwago, Besigye wants court to review Magistrate Cian Owomjisha's bail terms against him, saying that they were harsh and this violates his rights to bail as per the Constitution.
And the fact that he was also brought to court late and it was difficult to file, it was difficult to pay this money well beyond the court time or the banking hours. So all these factors ought to have been put into consideration. They should have persuaded the magistrate to grant a non-cash bail, just like the magistrate in the case of Samuel Mukako did. So we wonder why this one took a different course altogether, a different decision altogether. This kind of discriminatory treatment is untenable at law. Actually, the Constitution itself abhors that, condemns that. That decision was not judicious, it was rather a political one. So we are here to seek for a judicious decision or a judicial decision because we are challenging one which is political. We maintain and insist the one delivered by the magistrate was a political decision, and we want a judicial decision made by the High Court. He is strongly opposed to the idea of collecting money from well-wishers. There are so many who had volunteered. There are those who had committed themselves to paying even bigger sums of money. But it's a matter of principle. It's a question of justice. And he's saying, no, this is happening to him today. Tomorrow it's going to happen to somebody else. So he wants to fight this injustice and is ready to endure whatever hardships he's going through. He's ready to languish in Ruzira for whatever period it will take, as long as the matter is still pending here, the appeal. And that's the reason we're pushing for the expeditious hearing of this matter, that for him is not ready whatsoever to pay that money or even to solicit it from well-wishers. So
Police in Aswa River region this week held 20 people who were arrested from Omoro district for disrupting peace and causing chaos during voting in Omoro district. Also arrested in Chua West County, MP Philip Ojara Okin, one of FDC's firebrand in the region. Patrick Oboy Amuriat. The FDC's party president said FDC is being targeted because of their popularity on the ground. However, police says the operation was random and only against those planning to disrupt peace in the district.
Opposition parties have accused police in Omoro district for witch-hunting their mobilizers. This was after police arrested 20 people during the voting day in Omoro district.
We have got our people incarcerated, including our General Secretary, the LC3 of Palenga, Mr. Stephen Okumu.
Supervisor of Lakwana has been arrested, Ajak. Supervisor of Aware Trading Center, we don't know where they have taken him. And then vehicle moving without number plate. They have covered their number plates. We don't know what they are carrying.
Our existence in this area worries the NRM, and they see us as, the people who would give them headache here.
Police say the arrest was random and they had received intelligence that some wrong elements were planning to disrupt peace in the district.
So about the arrest, yes, we have done random arrests for those who are caught offside without specifically targeting anybody. We are not specifically targeting the NRM supporters, we are not specifically targeting the NUP supporters, we are not specifically targeting the FDC or any other person. But our arrest was basically targeting the wrong elements.
Today, thousands of voters thronged 84 polling stations in Omoro County to decide who replaces the late Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Lokorio Lanya. There were heavy deployment of all security forces to ensure a peaceful voting process. Barricades were mounted on all major roads to regulate entry and exit. 5 candidates out of the 6 in the race casted their votes today. FDC's Justin Odon did not vote because he was not a registered voter in Omoro County. Odon, who is also the chairperson FDC for Omoro District, came at the 11th hour to represent his party after their first choice candidate was allegedly abducted. He hails from Tochi County, making him unable to vote, although he can be voted for. Although voting materials reached the polling stations early, there was late and low turnout of voters. Some went to the garden first.
No, the challenge here, our people, this is the period of farming. There are some people who are still in the garden.
So right now I'm planning to go to the garden. Then after that, I'll come and vote because, for all this period there was nothing like rain.
At Opit Primary School, only 179 voters turned up out of the registered 527.
Add all these 3 bundles will give us 127. That's a vote for Olanya Andrew.
Over 38,000 registered voters in Omoro district were expected to cast their votes today to determine who becomes their next representative after the passing of Jacob Lokorio Lanya. At the time of filing the story, counting of votes was still going on. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Now, government is partnering with the private sector to push for rooftop rainwater harvesting agenda as temperatures continue to rise due to climate change, thus accelerating the water scarcity challenge. Rooftop rainwater harvesting is therefore being viewed as one of the best adaptation mechanisms to climate negative impacts like water scarcity.
Water is an important resource since it's critical for socio-economic development, health ecosystems, and human survival by improving the health, welfare, and productivity of populations. However, climate change challenges are leading to continuous rise in temperatures, resulting in high levels of water stress in many areas, yet the demand for water is growing due to the increasing population. It is against this backdrop that Uganda prioritized rooftop rainwater harvesting as one of the key technologies for adaptation to climate change under the Technology Needs Assessment Project supported by United Nations Environment Programme, premised on the recommendations from the Technology Needs Assessment Project, a Danida project called Technology, Markets and Investment for Low Carbon and Climate Resilient Development, TEMARIN, is working through Step Up Standard Limited to accelerate market deployment of rooftop rainwater harvesting in Uganda.
Initiatives we've done is to set up this alliance, and the alliance includes people from government, from private sector, from NGOs, and
people who are technical service providers, financial service providers, and because of that, we are raising the profile of the need for rooftop rainwater harvesting.
First of all, it has reduced on the cost of spending money on the conventional system like the pipe water system that they have used, that they are connected with. And so in that respect, benefiting a lot. Secondly, it has also made water available throughout to support the institutions, the health centers, and also the schools wherever they have all been constructed.
And in a country like Uganda, where we've got rain virtually 2/3 of the year in most parts of the country, it makes a lot of sense to harvest that water. In most parts of the country, people go 2 to 3 kilometers to fetch water from the pond where the water collected. And so it makes a lot of sense to collect it at the roof, at the point where the rain comes down onto the roof at the house level.
Under this project, the private sector, non-government organizations, and government have come together as an alliance to implement the market deployment of rooftop rainwater harvesting technologies in selected areas in Uganda.
You can either go and buy a plastic tank of any size you like, of any capacity, or it can be constructed. Construction, you can use building materials like cement, sand, aggregates, and steel bars to come up with a water tank, which must be cylindrical, because cylindrical tanks are recommended because they can hold the active pressures of water and the passive pressures. The size will depend on the user and on the cost that is going to be involved.
Indeed, the use of rooftop rainwater harvesting in Uganda is taking shape as more people continue to realize that rainwater is an important resource that can be utilized. For instance, in rural areas, people utilizing rooftop rainwater harvesting technology use it solely to meet their water needs. Women in Katosi, a Kampala city suburb, describe rooftop rainwater harvesting as a blessing that has saved them from moving long distances in search for water.
Kubanga nze okuva lwe nagifuna mutuufu nina emirembe nabeeranga wano n'engoye ne zikulema okwoza n'okufumba ne kukulema naye okuva lwe nabifuna sirina kyenkalubirira oba ne bwe nagamba ssaawa 11 nzuukuka n'enjoza engoye zange nenziteeka ku waya naye kati ssaawa 11 basi wagenda ku luzzi kuleeta mazzi naye mbeera mu nju yange omwo n'enjoza. Tugajja wano ku tanka ne tugafumba ne tufuna baketi mwe tugateeka nga baketi nnyonjo ne tuganya tusooka gafumbako.
In Katosi area, a non-government organization like Katosi Women Development Trust have played an important role in spreading the gospel of rooftop rainwater harvesting to communities through women groups.
Our members, we have got a number of member groups. So a member who wants to benefit from this rainwater harvesting tank applies through the group, and then the written application is approved by the group and then forwarded to the secretariat.
In the same way, non-governmental organizations like the Uganda Muslim Rural Development Association, UMUDA, are spreading the same message to institutions like schools. UMUDA constructs mega tanks codenamed as Walugendo model tanks for schools and institutions.
This is the provision for drinking water. There is a water tank inside there which is filtered, and this way is safe for drinking. So they open here like this, get cups, come and take the drinking water. Yeah.
Joanita Abonwaku, a teacher at Riverside High School in Bujuko off Mitiana Road, confirms that rooftop rainwater harvesting has eased the running of activities in the school.
Before rainwater harvesting, there's dependency on mainly the stream water, of which the streams would sometimes dry because of the unfavorable weather conditions. So there's a plan to harvest water, since some of the times of the year there are heavy rains around this place. As a school, this water has been of great help in smooth running of the activities of the school, including cleaning, sanitation in the dormitories.
However, more effort is required to ensure that rural schools, especially in more water-stressed areas, make use of rooftop rainwater harvesting technologies.
Initially, when the schools opened, we used to spend 260,000 shillings within a week. But now when we entered into water harvesting, we have reduced the bills to around 189,000 shillings for a full month.
Uganda's legislatures have also pledged to support rooftop rainwater harvesting technology as a climate change adaptation mechanism.
To do is to look at the laws and the policies that we have in place that are not taking care of the new technologies like water harvesting. We need to change the policies to accommodate such that help people to get water easily. I mean, water off the roof is such an easy thing, and water is right there, and it's not even expensive.
With the current global challenge of climate change continuing to threaten water availability, it is critical that Uganda taps into the proper management and utilization of rooftop rainwater harvesting technologies to aid in adapting to the expected climate change impacts.
Wow, a great irrigation method that we've been given right from today. Now I'm taking a very short break. When I return, more regarding business and more updates. Do stay with us.
Jennifer, Jukila, Wewagamba, I don't have waka. You bust the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jambola be waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you? Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for. Campus? Really? Hey, you don't remember me? Okay, so how can I help you? I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap. My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die. What? Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Affordable packages, great entertainment,
sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies.
There is something for
stories live. Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Ugandan shillings per month. GoTV, great stories. Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. Good to know you're still watching. Coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. It is our weekly news roundup. Now, on two business updates, activities throughout the entire week, we saw experts warning Uganda, saying that Uganda is at risk of going into default by failing to meet its current and future payment obligations if government's borrowing appetite is not checked. Now, to maintain the balance, the World Bank is urging government to explore ways of minimizing debt-related risks by embracing sustainable financing.
Although government of Uganda claims that the country's public debt is sustainable, there is fear of reaching the unsustainable levels in the near future. Exploring ways to minimize debt-related risks was the agenda of a high-level outreach conference in Kampala organized by the Ministry of Finance and the World Bank.
Commercial debt versus concessional. These conversations, ma'am, we are having them also amongst ourselves. And as a ministry, we've aligned our strategy to attracting as much concessional debt as it is available. But commercial debt, we are very mindful of its impact on getting our debt levels shoot up and the sustainability issues.
World Bank's International Development Association, IDA, is currently implementing the Sustainable Development Finance Policy in all IDA-eligible countries, including Uganda.
You know, issues of debt will take a village. It is not enough to simply put good intentions on the table about how you manage your fiscal responsibility. It's about putting in place the mechanisms that will monitor implementation, that will identify the right people to implement. And so I'm very pleased to hear about the push to make sure that the resources are going to the lowest level of organization in the country, as we've heard here.
External debt distress continues to deteriorate as the debt burden skyrockets in Uganda. In the fiscal year 2020-2021, the total public debt increased to 50% of the GDP from 41%.
Traditionally, we have benefited from concessional borrowing, which has had our weighted average cost of borrowing low compared to our peers. But as we transition to the middle income status country, that concessional borrowing is certainly going to dry up, and we have seen it starting to dry up, and we inevitably have to access other financing mechanisms such as commercial debt.
A country's public debt is considered sustainable if the government is able to meet its current and future payment obligations without exceptional financial assistance or going into default. Dennis Igoa and Marco Dulo for UBC News.
Now, more on to business. President Yoweri Museveni, in a televised state address on Sunday night, the 22nd day of May 2022, said government subsidies or removing import taxes would collapse the economy. The government of Uganda has been committed to the goal of economic transformation for some time. Now, Uganda Export Promotion Board, Eli Twineo, breaks down what it takes for an economy to revive as he backs up the decision made by the president.
Was spot on, and that is what I expected. Because if you subsidize, look at it this way, it means that the government is getting its own money or borrowing to reduce the prices of these products. That is very artificial. 100% very artificial, because then will you, every time a certain product price raises, you subsidize, where will you get the money? We are looking at the global volatility, we are looking at production, we are looking at about the URA collecting taxes, and people are saying they might not collect enough taxes because of the vagaries in global trade, because normally URA collects a lot of money from what we call trade taxes, or import dues, or import levies.
Uganda trends on a free market economy, despite being exposed to the forces of globalization and rapid population growth. There does not seem to be an alternative to economic transformation in general and industrialization in particular.
An economy is a humongous task. It is not as simple as the emotion of saying that tomorrow you are saying remove taxes.
The government recognizes the importance of manufacturing to economic growth because of its potential for value addition, because manufacturing has been a key factor in the development and transformation of all citizens. The rising prices of goods have been occasioned by surges in the cost of petroleum products and other imports amid global supply chain constraints following the war in Ukraine.
Because of the war in Ukraine, some products cannot now leave the EU and the USA, and what is called the NATO has imposed sanctions on Russia, and therefore Russia cannot export certain products. I'm told there are more than 25 million tons in the ports, which was in Russia, which was supposed to leave to come to different countries of oil products.
Many Ugandans wish for the Ugandan government to intervene and forge out a solution for their outcry over the rising cost of living.
A government gets money from taxes. A government gets money from non-tax revenue, licenses, visa charges, these other, and a few. But also government gets money if it owns properties that it is making money out of them. Some governments make even money from consultancies. So you see the base for government to make money is very small. On the other hand, you are telling it that government borrow please because you have to reduce taxes. You know, you have to reduce subsidies. And for you to reduce subsidies, for which products? Is it across the board? I mean, that is too expensive. Then the economy will shut down. Because how will it shut down? Because then they cannot afford the basic services it is supposed to provide to you.
The president advised the citizens to make do with imported items the country can afford and substitute expensive wheat with locally available food such as cassava, bananas, millet and maize.
You have to look at your basket of goods that you have been consuming and at the price you have been buying them. Please think about how you live within your means now, because you have to survive. This is a temporary situation. We will come out of it. Uganda's capacity to produce everything should be our dream, should be our focus. But no economy in the world that I have understood in my entire life and my studying of economic history has ever produced all that it consumes to be pure 100% self-sufficient. Economies produce products, they consume part of it, some of it they export, but also they also buy some products. Big economies like China, like USA, like Japan, like India, in terms of money, and European countries are still importing. One would be saying, why are such countries still importing?
The president has long been an advocate for manufacturing, even when donors were preoccupied with the social sectors and poverty reduction. He has always been interested in manufacturing since it produces many gains because of his personal intervention. But in this also lies possibilities for destructive interference in the work of government ministries, departments and agencies, which is not at all helpful to the cause of driving the industrialization agenda. Sandra Kahunde, UBC News. Thank you so much for choosing UBC to inspire you this very day, the 29th day of May 2022. And thank you once again for your company. Do stay with us for more better programs coming your way. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and from the entire team behind the scenes, they all wish you a beautiful Sunday.